You need to find a coach. You need to find a mentor. You need to find someone who's going to kick your ass and tell you that's wrong, and that's wrong. And who's going to tell you improve this, improve that, improve that. Because if you only have friends who tell you, oh, that's great, well done, you're amazing. You know what? It makes you feel good. And you need these people, because otherwise you'll feel horrible. So you need these people, but you also need people who will tell you, you know, this is not good enough. You're better than that. These are two books I would highly recommend. Jack Welch, Straight from the Guts. I think the title says it all, yeah? He's not telling you that it's his mind. He's not telling you that he had a perfect strategy. He's saying he came all from deep inside. And the one thing that I learned from entrepreneurship is that somehow you've got to be angry. You've got to be angry at something. Because if you're not angry, you won't have the drive and the passion to go and change something. Because an entrepreneur wants to change something. You want to do something better than it is now. So you've got to be angry at something that's happening in the wrong way. Now, at the same time, you've got to also be loving. Because if you're just angry, then you become a terrorist. And that's not too good. I'm not suggesting you go that road. So you've got to find a balance between this anger of, God, this needs to change, with the love of, you know what, we're going to help people. And with the help of enough people, we will make it happen. And things will be better. So, this is a big corporate guy who was the CEO of probably the biggest company in the world. Everyone thought that he had an impossible task, which was to make the biggest company in the world better. How do you do that? And he did it. He took the hard way, and his book, it's not a fairy tale, I can tell you. It's a hard story, but it's a story of someone who did amazing things. So I would recommend this one. The other one I would recommend, which is almost the opposite of this one, is The Birth of the Chaotic Age. So this one is a corporate guy. This one's an entrepreneur somehow. He's more than an entrepreneur. He's the guy who founded Visa. And he tells you that you don't need strategies. You don't need 3 years business plan. You don't need 1 year business plan. You don't need business plan at all. He tells you that in this day and age, you can't plan what you're going to do. Because you don't know what the world will be like in 6 months. You don't know what it will be like in 3 months, and at the speed at which things are changing, you don't really know what's going to happen in the next 2 weeks. Yeah? In the next 2 weeks, we might have the new Facebook. God knows. Yeah? So what he says is that whatever you do, the most important is one, to have a purpose. A clear purpose. What is it that you want to do? And second, clear values. What are your values? What are the things that that are never going to change from your track? You know, whatever you do, you'll always be X, Y, Z. For me, I can tell you mine. Mine are transparency. Always being transparent. Always, you can question me on anything about my business, what I've done. In my professional, personal life, I'm proud of everything I've done. And I'm happy to share it because they fulfill my values and what I believe in. There's nothing to hide. Once you have something to hide, people won't trust you. And in business, it's all about trust. The business angels I worked with told me this beautiful sentence. It says, you don't bet on the horse, you bet on the jockey.
In the house, turn it up, give me the pump, give me the pump.
When I was reading through, I remember in Singapore, I had this training, we spent 2 hours going through a business plan with a venture capitalist, the only female venture capitalist of Southeast Asia. In the 2 hours, we didn't spend actually analyzing the business. She didn't care about the idea. She said, I don't give a damn what the idea is. What she did is that she made a psychological profile of the guy based on his 50 or 60 page business plan. He didn't get the numbering properly. He doesn't put full stops at the end of sentences. Doesn't underline all the titles. You see, the images are not properly aligned with the rest of the stuff. That's the kind of stuff she was looking for. Because she said if you get the right guy, he'll make the good idea happen. Doesn't matter. We had a meeting with Oliver Mack, and he started by saying, I don't know how you guys will do it, but I know you guys will manage to do it. And that's something that for me meant a lot. But I think should mean a lot for you also. Which is that you can do it. And nobody knows how you will do it. And the greatest things in the world, nobody knew how they would happen. Planning forward is very hard. Yeah? If you had asked Steve Jobs whether he would actually, create laptops and stuff, he had no idea. He wanted to do something and he did it. And he had no idea how he would do it and why it would happen, but he knew that that was the right thing to do. And you have to have belief in what you're doing and patience, because things don't happen quickly. You know, when you hear of the stories of whatever Facebook that made, what is it, like hundreds of millions of pounds in overnight, yeah? Yes, they made that money overnight, but it took them 5 years to get there. Yeah? Picasso has a beautiful story of when he was in a pub, a restaurant. Someone came to him and said, "Well, Picasso, would you like, I'm one of your biggest fans, etc." And he took a napkin, drew a little something, gave it to her, and as she put her hand on it, he said, "That's $50,000. What? But it just took you 2 minutes to draw it. It's like, no, it took me 60 years. So overnight success takes a long time. With Seeducation is the same thing. People tell me, wow, that's amazing. You guys have done this in like 6 months. How is it possible? How it's possible? I failed 3 businesses already. Okay, my last business didn't fail, but it wasn't a multi-million-dollar business. It was just enough to feed me and to cover my costs. The other 2 guys, Seb and Ruben, also started 2 or 3 businesses. Ruben started his first business at 14. Now that's why now we've got a business that's running quickly and fast. Because we've made a lot of mistakes. So really, the thing that I regret now is, why didn't I make more mistakes more quickly? Because if I had done more mistakes, I would be so much further.